It is Regina and Chris today. This is, Honeysuckle Hills in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's been a long time since we have gone live, a very long time. And I'm going to address one thing right from the get-go. Everybody's going to be asking, where's Abby? It's usually Regina and Abby. Abby has not gone anywhere. right? All right, you will see Abby on the live in, I don't know, a couple of weeks, who knows. Abby has started her own coordinating and especially officiant company called Willow May Weddings. And she will still be here at Honeysuckle Hills as often as we can get her. So no, she has not gone anywhere. But the first series of lives that I want to do here at Honeysuckle Hills is to meet more of our vendors so that people can see who they're going to be working with. Because you're kind of stuck with me from start to finish. I'm Regina. I'm doing a lot more coordinating this year. I've kind of stepped back from photography. The only weddings I photograph are like the little ones, like our Simply the Ceremony or our intimate elopement for like couples only. But honestly, they've been choosing, like, what's the last one? You've seen Lauren Reeves out here. Yeah. And you've seen my daughter-in-law, Sierra Bonneville. Yeah. And Donna Melissa Fields. Yeah. I've seen them a lot, especially for the weddings and reception and the nun photography. Yeah. Jessica and Garrett. That's the one. But if you book a wedding with reception here, this is Chris with J3 Entertainment. And we're going to talk about a little bit about what goes on with the DJ and what he does and how he'll help you here. And he's been here. We had to look up before we started this. And I thought it was a lot longer ago. But I think we figured out I met you in 2020. Mm-hmm. And he just showed up. A bride had booked him for a wedding. Mm-hmm.
Convince you to let me.
Yes, that's right. Because we were using a DJ, Knox Vegas DJs, a long time ago. And I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but the guy who owned it started a venue called Heartland Meadows. And it's a very successful venue in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's a very beautiful one. But the owner stepped back from doing a lot of the DJing. And when Chris came in, I was like, holy crap. Because you were like friendly and like you were just like came in and you were like, I'm going to help you do this and you need help you get them down the aisle and coordinate. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, what we do?
Yeah. And I'm like, this is the first DJ team player I have ever met. I mean, it's all about the bride.
Right. Always.
I mean, I want to talk about two different weddings. Mm-hmm. That like stand out to me, and there's no way I would ever use another. Like, I'm loyal to the end to the vendors that I use, because if they're good to my couples, I'm gonna keep them forever.
Well, we're grateful.
But like, there was one wedding, and the bride had a son who was deployed, and she missed him. He couldn't come to her wedding, and she was devastated over it. And her son somehow reached out to me, or it was somebody in the family, and said, hey, I want to surprise my mom. I want to do a toast to her from far away. I don't even remember what country he was in. Do you?
No.
It was
overseas. I know
it was a long way away. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I said, let me see what I can do. And I sent Chris a text, and he's like, oh yeah, we got that. And he pulled it off like you had a TV screen out here. You made everybody cry. Yeah. I mean, happy tears, but I mean, there's not a dry eye in the house for that toast, because she was not expecting it. And it just made everybody happy. And you just pulled it off. Yeah. I'm like, it wasn't, I can't do that, or,
No, that's not in our vocabulary. The word no, doesn't exist. If we got time to make it happen, we will make it happen. It's not even a money issue. Right. It's like, let's just try to do this, because our main goal is for you guys, the bride family, the groom family. And so we just here to make memories. And that's what, my company stands on. My motto is your day, your style, your soundtrack. So me as a DJ, that's what I'm providing, that. Yeah. But, I can't do it without you guys. I couldn't do it without Regina. My company is,
we work together. We work together. It's a team of people here because a wedding is the most unpredictable event on the planet. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And every wedding, is unique. Yes. And that's a good thing. We were just talking before the camera went on live, how, used to be weddings were traditionals, and every wedding
Yeah.
was the same week after week. But now it's not, and that's what
Yeah.
I love most. Probably what I love most is not even providing the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's witnessing the vows.
Yeah.
Every weekend because they're different, you know.
Yeah, because you put the microphone on the officiant.
I do.
Yeah,
because
you manage all that.
You know,
yeah.
it's one thing for your guests to witness the ceremony.
Yeah.
But when they can hear the vows, they can hear the laughter, they can hear the cries.
Yes.
It makes them more, part of it. And I actually, what is the joke I used to say? What is a wedding without guests? And people would say, I don't know what it is. And basically, it's an elopement.
Okay, yeah.
It's an elopement. So when people invite you and say, you mean this much to me that I want you to witness our wedding, that means you are very important to that couple and they want you to witness me part of it. So my job is to allow you to hear that.
Yeah.
And not even to take it on the spiritual standpoint, but, that's my ministry when that officiant or that pastor or whatever, and that couple say those vows.
You want everybody to hear it.
I want everybody to hear it, and I want it, to go follow, not fall on dead ears.
And like a lot of people, like some brides don't want their guests doing like phones during the ceremony.
Right.
Most people don't care. But like if you've got everybody microphone or the mic'd up or I'm not technical,
Right.
but when they're recording their little videos in the audience, your sound system makes those phones can hear it even better.
Yeah.
Because we've got a little creek going, and depending on where you're at and everything.
Yeah. One's better, if your grandparents are attending or you have a loved one that, may be fortunate, they may be in a wheelchair, can't walk down to the different ceremony venues that we have.
So they might be sitting in the Creekside Pavilion watching them over there at that wood.
Right, and I can pump sound, and they're going to be able to hear it in a comfortable chair, up under the fan, on the deck, whatever it may be. They may even be inside. And, one thing that I love about this venue, even though our main thing is outside, we do have technology that make you comfortable. We do have heat and air here. We do have great Wi-Fi here. So sometimes, your grandparents just might want to sit in the cool air or whatever.
In the reception area.
Right, and still be able to hear what's going on outside.
You got the speaker in the reception area and one outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love that about this venue. So, yeah.
Yeah. And back to it being one of the most unpredictable events that you can have is a wedding. We had one bride a couple of years ago that was running really late. I don't even remember now. It was probably in 2021 too. Probably, I can't remember now. I remember the bride, and we text each other like out of the blue. One day she'll text me, one day I'll text her. But they were running late, and we had to get the pictures before dark. So what does Chris do? He's in there. He just pulls trivia out of his rear end and starts entertaining everybody.
Smoky Mountain Trivia.
Smoky Mountain Trivia. They loved it. And I don't even think when we got back in, it wasn't, oh my God, we're starved to death.
Yeah.
Because this was a very Christian couple. They did not have a bar.
Right.
Yeah. If there's a bar, nobody cares.
Right.
How long you take,
they
really.
can entertain themselves.
Yeah. But, well, you helped that too. But, and they didn't even care. We got back and it was all good because he had done trivia with them. And another thing I love is like that shoe game. Nobody gets tired of that. You always have the cutest questions. Yeah. Which one do you think makes people laugh the most?
Probably the shoe game.
Yeah. Which question do you think makes them laugh the most?
Make them laugh the most?
Yeah.
Probably laugh the most. Probably when one of the questions is, first thing that comes to mind is not laughing, but cry when I say, who say I loved you first?
Oh, yeah. They always hesitate, too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's going to raise that,
Yeah.
Who's going to raise their little, what do you call it, like shoe? Or,
sure,
yeah.
Who first to call home the mom or dad, one of the issues, things like that.
Yeah.
But I try to make, every wedding, every experience unique.
There's Megan Mason. I don't know if yeah. She was like the Montana bride. I kept watching her all day long, and that first she had, and it was a vow renewal though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got married, they had a bunch of kids, which are great.
Yeah,
and then,
family.
Yeah, and they decided they wanted the celebration later. And Nun Photography was here for that, and you kept everybody dancing and all that. And like I've noticed that you do things like you'll change the mood when needed too.
Yeah.
Like have you noticed? And have you ever been here when we did like the surprise engagement? Like have you ever?
I don't think I have.
You don't think you have? Or like and like who's been married the longest? Mm-hmm. You like to do that too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a neat thing.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a wedding with reception, like if you don't want to do a bouquet toss, you can think about, giving it to whoever has been married the longest.
Yeah.
Or whoever's just been engaged. You don't have to actually throw it.
Yeah, if there's an anniversary or birthday that just happened, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
And one thing we all do here, all the vendors, I like to say we're family for a day. And it's not just a saying, that's how we feel. Most of the brides talk, either with Abby or Regina, more than they talk to me. But that day, I'm family. And it's not a color or a creed or religion thing. Right. We are family here for a day. We treat each other there. We love on each other. Yeah. Regina bring out the dog coach and he get loved on. And that's what we do. And like I said, we're just making memories here. So, those that have been here can contest to that. Yeah. Those that have booked, and have booked, the beautiful packages that we offer that include me. Yeah. You have something to look forward to, and I look forward to being here and celebrating with you. And it's all about memories. And, this location, East Tennessee, there's hundreds of venues.
Oh, Lord. I don't know how they ever figure out where they're going to get married.
And I get questions, what's special about what you do? What's special about the venues that you work at?
You say a lot.
Yeah. And I can only, speak on this one. I can't say anything negative about any venue because they all have their niche. Yeah. But here, like I said, outside of being family, you can touch what East Tennessee has to offer. You can take your shoes off and put your feet in the creek. Yeah. You can hear. They do that a lot. You can hear all the creatures and the critters that we got to offer. During the summertime, you can smell the flowers. Oh, the flowers. The fall, not only do you get to see the color of the leaf, you can touch them. Yeah. We have horses that you can pet. We got the grass, the greenery. Did you see the pictures of Megan Mason with the horses? Not to change the subject. I'm sure I did. Holy cow. Our photographers do beautiful work. And then, like I said, our caterers, the food, whatever treats you order, cake or cookies. So that's what's unique here about this venue. The grounds. Just recently, last year, we got a new ceremony set up at the Lookout. Oh, yeah, over there at the Mountain View, like in Lover's Cove. Yeah. And he's got the portable sound system to go up there, too. Yeah. Because, people, it's only a minute to get there. It's we basically have 30 acres. And, people, they won't have to follow us anymore. My son is making a new road into there, by the way. Okay. Did you see where it kind of started? Right before you get to Mama's house. Okay. You can look, and there's one little part of it. Yeah. Okay. And it'll just go right through right between those hills. Okay. And I can just say, hey, just go find the sign and go up there and park next year, which praise the Lord. But he just takes his portable equipment up there for sound there. And then he's back here, got it going again by the time your family gets back down here to enjoy the bar or whatever. Right. And all you got to do when, my hillbilly grammar, all you have to do, when you book with us and new this year, have you seen our wedding app? Mm-hmm. And everybody was I'd email the information. Well, then by the time we email 100 more times, they're I can't find, I can't remember. Where's the link to the DJ? He has this cool link where you go and put all your announcements, all your songs. Mm-hmm. And now it's in one little app that we're giving people that's right on your phone. And you can click and just text him, or you can get to your link really fast. Yeah. And one thing I love about you too is that you can be as detailed as you want in that link to him. You can have a song for every 30 seconds or whatever. You can say, I want to start, Natalie Cole's song at 1 minute and 2 seconds and, and end at whatever. And you do custom mixes. Yes, custom mixes. Yeah. And then, or you can, if you don't want to make decisions,
You can say, hey, I want this for my song to walk down to, this for my first dance. I love country music, but don't play Merle Haggard. He's got it. Yeah. He's got it. And then people come up to you all the time with requests, don't they?
Yeah, I don't mind taking requests. I mean, J3 Entertainment, and y'all can go follow me on our social media. I stand on just catering to my clients. So, you know, there's DJs out there that only do it one way. And like I said, that's not bad, but I stand on, I don't get shook. You know, I still get butterflies, but they say if you don't get butterflies and nervous.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, they say you're not human. You're supposed to. You know, that's a sign that, you know, you're passionate.
Yes.
And that you really want to make a great impression.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't get shook in a moment. I have, you know, clients last minute. Hey, change your song. Hey,
no problem.
If we got 2 minutes, give me time to pull it up. We'll make it happen. And we're going to keep on moving on smoothly.
Yeah. And like whatever happens that day, like people get an itinerary, but it's not really, it's just kind of a blueprint. But like we may watch the weather and say, hey, Chris, we're gonna go do the ceremony later. We're gonna start doing some pictures now. He's like, no problem, we got this. Yeah. He just keeps everybody entertained and we just roll with the flow. No big deal. Yeah.
That's what we do.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about like you're really good about not playing explicit music too.
Oh yeah.
Unless we have had some that say there's no kids there and they're like, we want the explicit one.
Yeah, if it's highly requested, I will. But
ordinarily.
And that's because I do a lot of school events, church events. So my brand is kind of branded that I'm a clean DJ.
More conservative. Yes.
But again, that's one of those things, like I said,
So really they have to explicitly request a nasty song.
Right.
I've only heard that one time here. Yeah. I don't know if you did that or not.
I don't know if that was... Because you can really get away, you know, you usually get away with it without playing those songs.
Yeah.
And, so it just really is a preference, but
you're gonna embarrass grandma anyway,
right? You know, and because this venue is, you know, this is not a traditional venue to where the pastor and the conservative people are gonna leave and we gonna turn up the volume later on. You know, because everybody's here from start to finish. We like to keep it, you know, that vibe where everybody enjoy, and it's kind of an unwritten goal of mine. I want the least person you think that would good up and dance, you know, or again, if grandma, whatever, I might come and say, what was their wedding song? Do you know, can you find out? And I'm going to try to pull their wedding song.
That's your secret weapon.
Yeah, you know, just things like that. And it just makes them feel more a part of the wedding to have that done. So I get a lot of, you know, people say, my husband never dances.
I get a lot of people that come up to me or Abby and say, I can't believe grandma, or I can't believe my little shy cousin is out there dancing. Yeah. I can't believe you got so-and-so up there. Yeah. And it blows my mind how when there's not a bar, you have some, I don't know what you do, but you can get everybody up there. I mean, even the quietest group, you can get them up for a little while. Yeah. You know? And then some people just want that nice, they want to escape the crowds. We get a lot of people anymore that they don't like to focus on them. Right. And you know how to just keep it quiet.
Yeah, just background music and just, you know, they enjoying the grounds, enjoying the moment. So again, they're just custom memories. Yeah. Whatever it may be. It might not be you jumping up and sweating on the dance floor. You know, maybe you just sitting having a conversation. A couple just talking about the moment. You know, holding hands, walking the grounds again.
They do that a lot. Yeah. And like the private dance at the end of the evening before you shut down at the Willow. Yeah. Like he'll do like a last dance and then he'll get everybody in the mindset. You kind of help close it and pull it together. Yeah. He like guides the whole flow of the day. It's like, I don't know how we would do especially when we got 50 people here, it's so much easier and everything flows so much better when you're here. People hear, oh, it's time to do this, it's time to do that. But one of the I'm like a squirrel brain. I was talking about that end of the night dance. But that at the Willow Tree in the summer, like if you've got a wedding with reception booked with us like June, July, August, when it's really hot, people want to stay later to get to the cool. but like the willow tree with all those lanterns and stuff and the lights, couples sneak out there, and we don't announce to everybody that they're having a private dance, because you can't do that. It's not private anymore. But or sometimes the couples have come up to him and say, hey, I want to go down there. And he just starts playing this song, and then Abby, the coordinator, or me, we'll just keep everybody else up here, and they go down to the willow, and the photographer sometimes sneaks down there, and it's really cool. So there's so many different things, and we just all work together to make it happen.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of another thing maybe that's happened out here.
I mean, it's so much, you know.
I know.
And I'm just excited, you know.
We got more receptions booked this year.
Yeah. Happy 2026, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, and our 20th year celebration. 2026 is, Honeysuckle Hills has been here 20 years. He's going to be here for our 20th anniversary party, which is October the 11th. October the 11th. Probably from 11 to 3. He's going to be here. And Chef Tony he's got First Fruits Gourmet to Go. He will be here doing an open house for food tastings that day on October the 11th for the 26, 27, and 2028 brides. Can you believe we're talking about 2028? Holy cow.
Lock it in.
Yeah, I mean, how did we get to 2020 that far?
I mean, just by loving on the people, you know, being professional.
Yeah.
And catering. So that's
cow.
what it is. So yeah, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about booking with us, don't wait. We want you to get, you know, the date that you want.
Yeah. And there's a remarkable difference this year, guys, between the past couple of years. People are booking, they were booking more last minute. I'm seeing a trend to plan further in advance now. Of course, some venues like Magnolia, Trillium, Nichols Air, some of the bigger ones, if you don't plan 2 years in advance, you're not going to get in. We're around the year and a half range for October. Yeah, people are still planning way ahead for October and like May because of our big first super bloom of the season. Yeah. So, but yeah, this year I've seen there's a lot more bookings. It's opened up. I don't know what happened. Everybody was a little quieter the last couple of years. Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot more receptions, not just for here, it's more of those cozy groups. Like you don't have to have, our average reception count is about 30 people now. And it's because they want their inner circle there.
Right, the intimate circle, yeah.
And it's so much easier to get all those extra requests in and stuff too. Yeah. And make it yours. But yeah, we have talked and talked. We had a lot.
How long have we been on?
I don't know. How long have we been on? Does it take?
But yeah, I mean, we can talk, you know, all day.
About
what we do.
Why did you become a DJ?
Oh, see, I don't know we have time for that. Really, I have been a part of music in some shape or form since I can remember. Whether that was, you know, beating on pots and pans, you know, playing music. I have 2 older brothers, one is passed, and a sister. Oh, and they're 8, 10, and 12 years older than me. So
are you the baby?
I'm the baby. So, and my mother was into music. So I know, you know, my range of music is because I remember listening to their music. Yeah. I've been an artist, a producer, a gospel rapper. I play instruments. Rapper.
Where have I been? I didn't know there was gospel rap.
Yeah. Wow. 10, about 12 years ago. I got 3 CDs on Spotify.
Where are we going to find this?
William, he's part of the group.
DJ Will?
Yep.
Okay, so like he has a team, like there's like a 2-person team. So you're either going to get DJ Chris or DJ Will. I love them both. Absolutely adore them both. Yeah. When DJ Will was in the gospel rap group, he gave me a CD once, and I looked at it. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. But I didn't have anything to play the CD on at the time. I still don't, because technology's always changing. Yeah. But is he on Spotify?
Yeah, he's still putting out music. So
how would they find that?
It's called Atoned, Atoned. If you put that in Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal, we there.
I'm gonna go look that up and play it. Yeah. That's gonna be cool.
So I've always just been a part of music. And after we had our it was about 5 years, we had our season. We was touring,
You went on tour.
Yeah, we went from Florida to California. And actually we got a chance to go overseas. And it didn't work out because, one person couldn't take off work. Me personally, I didn't want to get the shots to go overseas. You got to get shots in your stomach.
In your stomach? What, are you afraid you're going to get rabies or something?
They just said you go to overseas, you had to get these shots. And I was just not a fan of needles at the time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, from California to Florida, yeah, people was bringing us, we was blessing folks. And that was our ministry.
So it was kind of, okay.
And so I had a lot of equipment once we stopped doing that. And that's when I picked back up DJing. Because I actually learned how to DJ.
Do you remember your first wedding?
My first wedding, no.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Huh.
Yeah, because I've been DJing for over 30 years.
Are we that old?
How old are you? I started in 89 when I graduated. I
graduated in 89 too.
Yeah. So I quit counting at 50. I'm 50 something. But I quit counting. So
yeah.
I stand on 50.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So so that's how I began, cool. And people just start, asking, hey, would you mind, DJing here, DJing there?
And you just it just felt good.
That was my passion that I didn't know it was my passion. I just thought.
You was having fun.
Passion to me was, it's what I did in my spare time.
Yeah.
Never in 1,000 years I think, I would be doing this full time.
Yeah, and you've been doing it full time for a while.
Yeah. I've been full time going on. 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you go Lush with Custom Love. She's coordinated out here before. Mm-hmm. And you met her, and then you've been to, was it Tennessee Mountain Mist? Have you been there? Yeah. And they go to Magnolia. Yeah. So you've been there. Yeah. What are other close by ones? Like I said, there seems to be one on every corner now. They're everywhere.
But probably lately, outside of here, I do more here.
Yeah, you really do. He gives us priority.
Of course, the tree on the Magnolia.
And every single one has its own little vibe or niche. Yeah. And Nichols Air is a new one. They're kind of like I call it bougie, but there's probably it's more elegant.
Yeah, it's more grand.
Yeah, we're a cozy cottage core, nature lovers. People, when they walk in here, their mindset is immediately, it's like their shoulders just relax. Yeah. They're just they get in here and they're like, time slows down. Yeah.
Like I said, you can take your shoes or even, you can wear sandals here and you're fine.
People take their shoes off 99.9% of the time here. Do they not? Yeah. We find shoes all over the dance floor. Under the tables. We know every night we got to look before everybody gets out of the parking lot because there's some shoes. There's 2 or 3 pairs of shoes everywhere in chairs, because people are having fun. Right.
Well, my other venues, I might have on my shirt and tie. And so, so it's kind of,
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say bougie, but just kind of grand. But like I said, everybody has a different vision for that.
So you're for them. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to somewhere where the expectation is that suit and tie, you're going to wear the suit and tie. Yeah.
I'm going to play the part.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like wedding DJs. We become the host after
you need a cowboy hat.
After I say I do, after we eat, then, then the night is mine. Because I take it home.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to keep everybody there. I don't want anybody leaving early. I want the energy high, up until we do the grand finale where there's a sparkle send-off. Or
what's the most popular requested song for the sparkler send-off?
Really, I don't get requests for a sparkler send-off. Okay. That's all me.
You mean that nobody asked for that? You just pull it?
I don't even have it on my phone, for one.
Really?
So I guess I don't bring it to attention.
Something they asked for because it's different most every time.
No, it's just the vibe. I'm going off of the night.
Huh.
Yeah, but I might need to put that on my phone. Thanks for bringing it up.
Oh well, sound like didn't really. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Huh. So, what's the most requested song to walk down the aisle? You think right now?
Probably in the past 2-3 years, I probably have to say 1,000 years.
1,000 years? Whether it's the one by, is it Christina Perry?
Whether it's
Piano
guys or two cello guys.
Ooh, I got a question. What if somebody, because this is popular now too, what if somebody wanted to sing a song to their husband, wife, whatever, and they said, here, Chris, I've got this recording. Can they give that to you?
They can give it to me. I can take, like, if you have a complete song, somebody want to sing to it, I can take the singing off of it. And just play the instrumental.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
So yeah, I can do that.
See, I did not know this either.
Yeah. Or like I said, I can do the custom first dance song. Maybe, you want to dance with your father, the slow 2-step, and then go into, Cotton Eye Joe. I can pre-record that.
Yeah.
And set that up to do that. So like I said, it's your wedding your way. There's no limitations here outside of our East Tennessee weather. So that's the only limitations.
And I like using the same vendors for multiple reasons. One, because I know they're going to take care of my couples, love them like I love them. You love them. But you have been here so much that it doesn't matter what happens. You kind of switch, like you got plan B, C, D, and E, just like we do. Like, okay, it's getting ready to rain. I've seen you beat us up here in the chapel before, and I'm like, oh, well, Chris is already ready. He's ready, because he knew. Because we might have been running around, getting everybody else gathered up, and then here he is. We forget to ask you stuff most of the time because it's like you read our mind or you just know the flow.
You already know. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have any downtime, we doing our most to switch, like I said, to pivot and keep everything going. And, a lot of it has to do with you guys, your attitude towards it. I had one memory, and it wasn't here, but it was a wedding and a reception outside. So the dinner and everything was outside. And it rained. Yeah. And so because
you didn't have anywhere to go.
Nowhere to go, besides the restaurant facility was covered. But it was in like a field. So when it rained, it was mud instantly. And all the brides just tied their dresses. The guests took off their shoes. And we just walking around and they just sitting and, the rain finally stopped. But by that time, the ground was soaked. And it was like...
Attitude matters.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is what we planned all along. And when nobody was like, my shoes are muddy, my dress is, it didn't matter. They still celebrated that couple as if it was clear Sunday day.
We just went on, would go with the flow.
Yeah.
I love that. That is cool.
So that's encouraging to me, like I said, as a vendor. And that what make or break a wedding, your vendors. I can't be selfish enough to say, hey, the music is good, but the chicken was cold. The chicken is cold, I feel bad, and I'm volunteering to go get warm chicken if I need to.
Exactly. And we have never been a circle of vendors here. Like, it blew my mind when I first started doing all-inclusive stuff. Because people would say, we love working here because you don't throw us under the bus if something happens that goes wrong. Like, I've seen you catch me when I have forgotten to fill up the waters in our little cooler outside. And I'll come out and here's Chris toting water and putting it in there so people don't run out. Like, we help each other. And like, if we see something, we don't just blame the other vendor. Oh, I'm so sorry that blah, blah, blah vendor let you down. Right. It's we're going to fix it and make it better before,
That's that family concept, This is just one big family reunion on your day. Yeah. So we introducing the two families joining the one.
Some of the families here haven't even met each other until the wedding. Right. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, until they get here.
Until they get here, because everybody lives everywhere. And people come to us from all over the United States, even other countries. Like, there have been people here from, I want to say Africa last year. And the UK, we get UK a lot. Germany, we had lots of people from Germany last year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And that's what weddings does.
Yeah, they just bring everybody together.
And music does that. Music is, it's rhythm to the soul. And even before I got deep into what I'm doing now, I would have wedding to take me in creeks and crevices, that I would have people say, now, when the sun go down, you make sure you go straight. but while I was there, I was loved on, and I was hugged on, and it was like, all right, it's waiting over. Make sure you go straight and don't turn.
Seriously.
So it was that tight. But while I was there, the music was love. And like I said, at that time, color, creed, or anything doesn't matter because everybody
love
there to celebrate that union.
Love is love here. You have hosted weddings of all kinds here. Mm-hmm. And it does not. We never question why a particular couple fell in love. It doesn't matter to us. Right. I can remember, like, we've been here for 20 years. Like 20 years ago, I remember it was hard sometimes to get somebody to officiate. They'd say, "Well, have they been married before?" Like, "Well, yeah. Well, I'm not doing it." They don't. That's old. Thank God. Right. I can remember when people, so many things have changed. Thank God, and people are more open and loving. Right. And I just love that about here. And all our vendors embrace people from whatever walk of life, whatever color of skin don't matter, religion doesn't matter. If you're a bride and a bride, a groom and a groom, we love that. That's some of the funnest weddings we've had.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can contest to that, yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah. It's celebrating and partying is two different things.
Oh, you got a point. Yeah. Let's talk more about that. When you celebrate the love, party is just coming to have a good time. You don't care about anybody else. You just, right? And celebrate. They're coming, and each and every person there will have something good to say and will genuinely talk to every other person there. Yeah. Here, I don't ever see where like a bride's like, "Oh, my mama invited them, but I've never met them." Mm-hmm. Right. When we have weddings here, people know every single one of their guests, so they all. I guess that is the celebration part.
Yeah. And you usually only get that in small settings. Like I said, I do 250 plus weddings, and like I said here,
250 guests.
Yeah. And here, like I said, we average, 35 to 40. And, it doesn't make it...
You notice a clear difference.
Yeah, it doesn't make it hard to do what I do. It just means that I can actually touch and speak to every
single person.
Yeah.
If you want to have a big wedding, 200-300 people, you do it. Can't do it here, but...
Yeah, we can't accommodate you
here.
We
can't do it here, but we can refer.
Yeah.
I think Greenbrier, don't they take like 200-300 people?
Yeah, and Nicholas area...
Can they do 200-300?
Yeah, I think 4 is their biggest in the
I predict that Nichols Air eventually is going to give, what's that big high class that they do celebrity weddings? Blackberry? I think Nichols Air is going to give Blackberry a run for their money. But I have also noticed, the trend, like been here in 20 years, noticed things. The luxury wedding market is way on the rise. Yeah. Like the Trailhead in Newport, that's a luxury specifically marketed to higher end couples and their families. And like Nichols Air is definitely one of them. And there's one, the Rubicon Cabin. And there's another great wedding coordinator in our area, Mary Kate Wyatt. Mary Kate she knows all of the higher end places for people to get married. Yeah. So the luxury market's on the rise. We can do luxury, but it's like on a smaller scale. Yeah. And ours are the nature lover luxury people. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the deep homegrown of East Tennessee that you get to experience here. Yes. Like I said, you can do more than just be a part of it, just view it. You actually just, like I said, get hands on here. Yeah. Even down just to the smell,
That's true.
In the air, And remember at one time we even seen a cub. We seem to be more and more in East Tennessee.
Oh, the little black bear?
Yeah, the little black bear.
They're everywhere now. Yeah. You can almost expect to see, well, heck, you just go to Gatlinburg anymore.
Right, they just cross the street.
Yeah, but don't touch one. Yeah. For the love of baby Jesus, don't touch one. So, Lord.
And then, we had those days where, like I said, if you're not from East Tennessee, this might seem crazy, but you might get 2 or 3 seasons on your wedding day here.
You might, yeah.
You might show up and it's cool, and by the time it's 3 o'clock and it's time for your ceremony. It's 90 degrees, and then by the time it's time to do the send off, they talking about flurries. You like, huh?
That literally happens here, y'all. Yeah. Seriously, and don't get hung up on those 10, 15-day forecasts.
Yeah, no.
Don't. Yeah.
They change.
It's going to change. I don't believe it till the morning of, and then I only take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, I'm driving up the highway. She calling, it's saying this be clear, But like I said, we're ready to pivot. Yeah. Where we at now is the chapel. So if it's storming, raining, we got this beautiful chapel.
Music carries good in here, too.
Yeah, that we can come. Yeah. If not, we got what?
The Creekside Pavilion.
The Creekside. We got the willow tree.
Yeah, the wooden arbor, the stone arch.
Yeah.
The mountain view, we love it. And all these places are for pictures too. Yeah. And I love how you keep people entertained with music while we're taking pictures. And it's never too loud. Yeah. The photographers can actually talk to people and they can hear what they're having to say. But they also hear that music at a good, comfortable level. Mm-hmm. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Lordy, we could go on and on and on.
Let's see, do we have any?
Yeah. No, we got Megan. We love Megan. Yeah. Megan, you are awesome. Donna McClure, she's just right down the road. Mm-hmm. She's one of our neighbors, and she used to manage, I don't know if she's still there or not, Willow Tree Lodge.
Okay.
And we would refer a lot of people to stay there. And then Catherine is my mama.
Okay.
I love my mama. Anyway. But we're going to do I'm going to try to do a live at least once a week while it's somewhat off season, although we've been booking a lot. We've had the busiest December and the busiest January probably on record so far. February is still very accessible. February is, I guess I don't know if everybody's afraid it's going to snow.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting, maybe it's that last minute, but Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg is quiet and slow. We don't do receptions in February anyway. Yeah. Because you can't get here if it's 6 inches of snow.
No.
Right?
No, not Gina let me borrow a Jeep.
I got a Jeep! We'll get Chris here. No, February is, once the end of March gets here, our best reception season is the end of March, April and May, first part of June, middle part of June to August. It's hot. It's hot.
I think October is my busiest month now.
Yeah, middle of September it starts ramping up again. October is the chef's kiss of receptions, and the first part of November. Yeah. After that, it kind of a little iffy, and then we kind of slow back down for receptions. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of the elopements, but you're here a lot this next year, so it's pretty
I look forward to seeing you guys, meeting you all.
All right, thank you for coming, Chris. You drove all the way from Knoxville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to another season.
Yeah, so we'll see you. And probably next week, I know we've got my bartender Julie's coming out, and Summer Lynn is going to come do our hair and makeup while we talk about stuff. So think about any questions you want to ask us. I'm going to have Abby with Willow May Weddings on here one day. She's going to talk about officiating and the services that she provides in the area. And oh gosh, who else do I need to get up here? Oh, I need to get Chef Tony with Gourmet to Go. I need to get him up here for sure. And oh gosh, I got to get some of our officiants. We got to get old Pastor Jody, the mountain preacher, up here. He's hilarious. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Abby, if you're listening, don't say it. I know what you're thinking. But anyway, and so we're going to try to do that while it's more of an off season when we have time, just to let you guys meet everybody. Yeah. All right, and we love you. Bye.
Have a great one.